What's up, citizens? Welcome back to the City Daily channel, and I'm here again. But look who's also here. Our big guy, Steve, who actually owns City Daily, is here with us. How are you, Steve?
Yeah, good. How are you?
I'm not bad. I'm not bad. Obviously, sad news the other day.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
Oh,
great.
mate. No, shocker.
Yeah.
Absolute shocker.
It's just not something we wanted to hear. Obviously, I've already done a little video about it,
Yeah.
and the absolute impact that Sergio had at the club, and the amazing things he's done with us. But yeah, well, I mean, what was your initial reaction to it? I guess let's start with that.
Well, I was at work at the time, I think. I might have been at work at the time. So it was a bit of a shock, if I'm
Yeah.
honest. And then sort of reality just kicked in, thinking, oh, wow, that's it. End of this season, that's
Yeah.
it. We've, as much as we've had all these other great players over the years, he's the most just decorative player we've ever had. As regardless, you put Aguero with City all day long. I know we've had your Vincent Kompany's and David Silvas and all those absolute legends. Do not get me wrong, but he has been the vital part of this team. You know, if you go to most other fans and they go, if Sergio Aguero's on that team sheet, they were like, they're scoring. Regardless, we had the worst game ever, we'd score with him on the pitch. It was as simple as that. Until this day, if he didn't have all those injuries, he would have beat Alan Shearer's record, guaranteed. He had, was it 3 seasons or 4 seasons with 28 goals a season in the Premier League? I mean, I think they said the amount of injuries he's had like nearly 3 seasons out, roundabout. So you average that out, he'd have smashed his record. I mean, his record's phenomenal. Shearer's, don't get me wrong, but he would have done it. But I mean, at least we've got him for our all-time record goal scorer, so there's something to take out of it. And we have our first Premier League title, so absolute legend.
Yeah. Obviously, with this signing, it was obviously probably a little less telegraphed, like David Silva and like Vincent Kompany were. You know, we sort of knew that they were heading. Does it come as a shock that it's happened this season, or do you reckon just with the injuries and with everything piling up that it seemed inevitable it was probably going to end up being this year?
Yeah, I think I personally had an inkling that I just thought we would have tied some sort of contract down. Even if it was an extra year, I don't know. So just to keep him again. But on the flip side, from what I've heard, is that he basically got given an ultimatum, and that we're getting a number 9 in, fresher, younger. We still want you at the club, but you're not going to be playing more. What do you want to do? Mm-hmm. And obviously, like you said, with like David Silva and Vincent Kompany, we knew that was happening. And I just, the thing is with Aguero is because he's that prolific, it's like it's a hard decision to not get rid, is a wrong word, but to let leave. I mean, like David Silva, we had a ready-made replacement. We haven't got a ready-made replacement for Aguero. I mean, you look how long it took to replace Kompany, for instance. We've only just done that now. Yeah. Someone who could be as good. He's not as good yet, Diaz, don't get me wrong, but he's close. But to find someone as prolific as Aguero is tough.
Yeah.
Very tough. And I think that was always in the back of Pep and Man City's mind.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was obviously a tough decision made by the club, but I think ultimately it's a necessary one, and it's one that we're just going to have to eventually move on from as fans, isn't it? But all right, so that's sort of the news there. Wise, obviously he's getting a statue as well alongside David Silva and Vincent Kompany, isn't he?
Absolutely.
So that's a massive win. So. Yeah, I think we've covered Aguero.
We could go on all day. Yeah.
Let's move on. Let's talk about City Daily. Okay. So, I mean, why did you actually start it? Why am I the best member of City Daily? And why?
I think I am fanatic City. So I was on another similar thing to what City Daily is, and I really enjoyed it. And I just wanted to go on my own. I know it's tough to get anywhere near the following of the group that I was with, but I just wanted to do it. And then, I mean, obviously, like, you know, after a while, you get some sort of reputation. And, you know, like yourself, I asked and I got a great response. And now we're building up the channel together in a sense. And obviously, we've got a few other admin and, you know, who does a lot of stuff, you know, via Twitter, very good at what he words. So, and then hopefully we might have one more coming on board as well. I don't want it to be too over, just like a little tight group. But I think it's going well, personally. We just hit over 2,000 followers on Twitter last week, and it hasn't been running a year yet. So a year in the end of August, I think, when I started it. So, I mean, it's going well, and I want to keep progressing. That's why I wanted to start the YouTube and doing some podcasts, but that's what I wanted. I didn't want it to all be about necessarily me. I wanted so you guys take control. You've done some great YouTube videos so far, and I want to keep doing that. You know, I just want to, you know, just branch out if we can, not too quickly. But you know, as I said, nice and slow wins the race, and we'll get there in the end. But we're branching out very quickly, and I'm really enjoy it. But I just want people to take their own initiative, like you. You do great videos, and I'm really happy.
Well, great, thanks, man. I guess there's a shout as well. You know, if you've got your own initiative and you love City, give us a shout.
Absolutely.
You know, especially if you're into things like graphic design and things like that. You know, we'd absolutely love more input and more help with those sorts of things. I just want to celebrate something I've not actually told you that. A very small success, very minor success, but it just touched my heart earlier on today when I looked at the channel and saw that we were just one away from 50 subscribers, and it's been up for less than a month, and getting great engagement from people just underneath in the comments, and we've had our first couple of videos go over 100 views as well, which is just a nice thing to see.
It is.
So yeah, I just want to thank all you guys out there as well, obviously, for watching.
Absolutely amazing.
Yeah, without you, this thing is absolutely pointless.
Very grateful. Very
grateful. Yeah, absolutely. So let's probably stay on City Daily. So towards the end of this year, or maybe even over the summer, obviously, there's going to be a big period for Manchester City and a big period for signings in the transfer window and things. What do we see? What are we expecting to start seeing from not just from us, but what do you want to see from Manchester City in general?
Me, I'm like transfer guru. I love it. Get excited. It means a lot to me, and I like to source out things and all that sort of stuff. So for the page, for us as a team, admin team, I want to do some proper in-depth like transfers, and maybe even do sort of like a transfer deadline day without popping in a yellow tie, because I don't want no copyright. So I want to do something like that to kind of, you know, because when you look at sort of other channels or on the TV, for instance, it's about everyone else. We're not everyone else. We concentrate on one team and one team only. So I'd like to do a sort of a transfer thing on just us and have a conversation and any breaking news and all this sort of stuff, but just about City. Because so that kind of leads me on to the transfers, which I get really, really excited about. And most of the time I spend and you see on the Twitter is who we want and all this sort of stuff. So I think the main one, I don't want anyone else. I just want Haaland. It's come that now. For me, as I think we said in the podcast, the way that City do their transfers is we have someone. It has to be. You wouldn't let Aguero go if there wasn't something tied down.
Yeah.
It's whether it's Haaland, I don't know, but they wouldn't say anything now anyway because we're playing them in 2 weeks, so they wouldn't say anything. We're not like that. The only thing that's sort of torn me towards that is when you look back at Pep, and this is how sad I am. He will, when he wants a player, he will go, they're with another club. If he says he doesn't want to play, he just sort of bats it. He doesn't sort of say anything much. Goes, they're with another club. And he said that about Haaland, how good he was, etc., etc. But he said, I'm not going to talk about it because he's at another club. And I remember this with Mahrez, especially, because we had that situation where we were going to get him in January and they wanted 90 million for him. And then we got him for like 60 odd 5 months later. But that was the same conversation. I don't want to talk about him. He's with another club. And then bang, click of a finger, he's a City player. That's one going from it. And then also, I just seen the other day that apparently this is going to be a double transfer between Haaland and Grealish. Now, for me, that's huge.
Yeah.
Massive. If we've got probably two, if we sign Grealish, of probably the best English talents within Foden and Grealish, wow. And Haaland, wow.
Yeah, it would obviously be a massive window for us if we can secure Haaland and Grealish. I mean, just Haaland would be relatively.
Oh.
That would break many other fans' will, as much as Aguero breaks other fans' will. Because Aguero was still very much an unknown quantity when he joined the Premier League, of course. Whereas now, Haaland is very much everyone. He's the name on everyone's lips, and it's for a great reason. Obviously, the big problem with Haaland right now is that price tag that Dortmund keep putting on him of 180 million euros. Sorry, which I still think 100 is the cheap end of that. I think if we were to get him for 100, we'd be quite lucky. Upper end would probably be 120. Grealish, of course, would be a similar price tag. I think. It's a difficult one. It's a difficult one this summer. I would love both of those transfers. I would rather Haaland than Grealish, obviously, because Haaland, we need a new number 9. We need someone new up front.
I mean, obviously, there's other names on the list. I think I said in the podcast, I mean, I'll just read off names because I'm sad. So I can read. Lautaro Martinez is the like for like. And it has, the only thing I can say about that is it's gone very quiet. It has gone quiet, which without being, it's either going to go one way or the other with that. Either something's happened and it's done, or we've literally just gone, nah, it's not going to happen. But that has gone very quiet because that was the one that they were saying, you've got rid of this absolutely prolific best striker to grace the Premier League, and you've got a younger version of him on the way up. So if you look at it that way,
country and everything,
exactly. And I seen his goal scoring record the other day for this season. It was like 14 or 16 goals in 21 appearances, but no one's mentioned it because it's not Haaland.
He has gone relatively quiet since Lukaku joined, actually. His goals have dropped off since then. But Lukaku, obviously, he's doing great at Inter. Although I don't like the idea of him coming to City because of the Man United connection, but I also think he wasn't great in the Prem in the last few years he was here. But I just think Lautaro Martinez is a better shout. And I don't think you could pry Lukaku from Inter anymore anyway. I think he's quite happily settled there.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think my gut feeling is it's going to be between, I can't even put his name in there, but it is still running round the rumour mill is of it. I mean, it's Haaland, Kane and Danny Ings.
So I don't mind Danny Ings.
Am
I sacked?
No, not sacked. you got a replacement for Aguero, right? Would Danny Ings be in your top 10? Absolutely not.
No, but when suggested, it wasn't actually a terrible shout. He's small, relatively strong on the ball, good in the box and around the box, plays his balls into the goal when they shouldn't be. I mean, did you see the goal he scored against Liverpool? That was insane.
Yeah.
And given the amount of things that we managed to get in and around that box, what's to say he couldn't easily become a 20-goal striker? I just think he's an archetype that seems to fit. I agree, he probably wouldn't be a first team starter, and there's definitely better players out there. But for a stopgap, is he the end of the world?
If we got him and someone else, absolutely, totally agree. The only thing that worries me, if he was like the main one, I can't see that being a Pep signing just because of the age. 28. He's fairly injury prone. So if that was the case, I'd rather kept Aguero, an injury prone Aguero, to an injury prone Danny Ings. Personally, I don't think 20. That's why I'm a little bit thinking that it's all just going one way traffic to Haaland, because Harry Kane is 28.
Yeah, but Harry Kane's got the Premier League in him. Harry Kane is the Premier League striker. He scores everything that comes his way.
I just don't know if it's Pep doesn't buy many of that age. I mean, you think you get Haaland at 20 years old, that's 15 years of a top class striker.
Yeah.
I mean, with the amount of goals that bloke could score in 15 years at City is mind blowing.
And he modelled himself off Ronaldo as well, doesn't he? So he is, 15 years seems like a long time, but you got Ronaldo still going. And if he's modelling himself off him, if he's trying to follow in his footsteps, 15 years is easily achievable for him.
You look at Ibra, 40 nearly, and he's just back in the Swedish national team. So. I mean, again, I suppose it's like Aguero could go on about Haaland all day long, but for me, it has to happen, and I think it will have a lot to do with his dad.
That's a good shout, because Mino Raiola, obviously the super agent everyone hates, especially in the Premier League. I think he's relatively well liked in Italy still, obviously, but the Premier League don't like him. We just don't like him here, do we? It's been great talking to you, Steve, by the way. Thanks so much for coming on, and hope to see loads more of you over this summer, well, with transfers and stuff, because I am but one man and I can be aware of but very little news.
It's fine.
So we'll be seeing a lot more of you, I'm sure. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for talking about City Daily. Thanks for having me as part of it. And everyone, let's pose a question for the comments. Let's see what do you want to know? What do you want to know, Steve? What's your question for the comments?
What would I want to know? It's a good one. I suppose, what would you want to see more from us? What would you like to see? This can be from anything, whatever you would like. If you're an avid fan, if you want to know more about, I don't know, even our sponsorship that we've got our one sponsorship with at the moment, or even questions for the future. Are you ever going to bring out branding, caps, scarves, things like that? Just ask us anything you want, and I'll be in the comments as well under my name, and I'll answer back. Or please private message any of us. Slide into the DMs.
Don't forget to follow us on Twitter. They'll be down below us here, close around here. So DM us on Twitter if you've ever got any questions about City Daily, or just drop them down in the comments below.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, citizens. Thanks for your time. Thanks for listening to me and Steve ramble about City Daily and about Manchester City as usual. Thank you so much, citizens, and up the Blues.